Welcome to Animal Atlas. Come with us around the globe and explore the animal world and its jungle animals and desert creatures. We'll meet wildlife on the savannah and see our underwater friends. And animals from the Arctic Circle. Anywhere, everywhere animals live. It's always an adventure. Today on Animal Atlas, we're asking the very important question, what's in a name? We have names, so we like to name the animals we get to know. These two pot-bellied pigs are named Esmeralda and Mabel. And they've got the plaques on their houses to prove it. So there. But what about their animal name? Pig. For most animal names, we have to go back into the past. The Latin word for pig is porcus, and the English word pork means the type of consumable food product the animal makes. No different than beef cattle, or dairy cows, or honey bees, or pork chops. Sorry. The etymology or word history for the word pig probably derives from the Old English word pick, and piglet is actually the term for young pigs. Like these, piglet, pig, and pot-bellied. Here's a pot. Here's a pig with a pot belly. It's easy to see how this kind of pig got its name. Like pigs, familiar animals have common names that have derived etymologically and are now familiar to us, like dog, or horse, or goat, or cat. Additionally, these common names sometimes also contain words that give us a better picture of what the animal looks like. Here's a bobcat. The cat part is obvious. And the bobtail puts the bob with the cat. The trick is to not take the common name too literally. Here's a mountain lion. This wildcat from North and South America does indeed live in the mountains. But it also inhabits the deciduous forests, the rainforests, the open grasslands, and even the deserts as well. And this wildcat may be fearsome, but he's not a big cat like his namesake, the African lion. So he's actually not a lion at all. Let's call the name mountain lion an honorary title for a fierce wildcat. And if that doesn't suit you, this wildcat has an array of other common names, including catamount, panther, puma, and cougar. All animals, in addition to their common names, have a scientific name, usually in Latin. The coyote bears the impressive Latin name Canis latrans, while the badger goes by Taxidea taxus when he's in a formal mood. Our mountain lion is called Felis concolor. Felis is Latin for cat, while concolor is Latin for one color. See? Cat of one color, as opposed to cats with stripes or spots. Or you can call this mountain lion by her given name, Abby. Got it? What do you think, Erythizon dorsatum? Porcupine? Miss Quilber? Yes, these are all her names. What's in a name? Let's ask an expert. This is Shosh, an American black bear with his own jacuzzi-style tub at the Heritage Park Zoo in Arizona. Shosh was orphaned at just 3 months of age and had to be bottle-fed around the clock. Because of this, Shosh was imprinted to humans and couldn't be returned to the wild. And after 12 years of loving care, life still looks pretty good from Shosh's view. Shosh's Latin name is Ursus americanus, with Ursus simply meaning bear in Latin. Yes, Shosh comes from North America, and his fur is indeed brownish black. Shosh is everything his name tells us he is. But it's not always this easy when looking at animal names. Our friend Shosh, the American black bear's personal nomenclature, is a noteworthy exception. As is he. Bye, Shosh. Here's a naked mole rat from the semi-arid regions of Africa. Actually, this animal is neither a mole nor a rat. Naked mole rats are burrowing rodents who live in colonies in burrows and tunnels. It's naked at least, right? Almost hairless is actually a more accurate description. Naked? Not exactly. Mole? Not even close. Rat? Nope. Funny looking? Well, that's a matter of opinion. These seafaring giants bear the big mouthful Latin name Miraunga angustriostris, but are commonly known as northern elephant seals. What? Elephants can do more than just shower at the watering hole? They can swim? In the ocean? No. Other than both being mammals, elephant seals have no relation to elephants. They get their name because of their great size and because of the male's proboscis. If you squint, this impressive nose rather looks like an elephant's trunk. But where the elephant seal's proboscis is pure nose, the elephant's trunk is both nose and its upper lip, and a plucky finger of sorts too. Though the elephant seal may not be an elephant, it's a true seal, a humongous elephantine seal. When we come back to Animal Atlas, we'll get to the bottom of Giraffa camelopardalis, among other names. But first, let's see if you can guess this animal fact. Which animal's name is not a completely accurate description of the animal? A. White-tailed deer. B. Pig-nosed turtle. C. Goliath bird-eating spider. Or D. Pygmy marmoset. The answer coming up when we return to Animal Atlas. We're back. Did you guess the right answer to our question? Which animal's name is not a completely accurate description of the animal? The answer is C. Goliath bird-eating spider. Indeed, the white-tailed deer has a white tail, while the pig-nosed turtle has a distinctive piggy nose. And the pygmy marmoset is the smallest of the world's true monkeys. This little fellow's body is about 5 inches long, and he weighs barely 5 ounces. So we come to the Goliath bird-eating spider. What's in the name? Let's see. In the Old Testament, Goliath was the giant Philistine warrior who was slain by David and his trusty slingshot. Over time, the word has come to mean something that is abnormally large and powerful. A gorilla might be called a Goliath, as might an elephant. A bison could be described as a shaggy Goliath of the prairies. But one creature who actually bears the title of Goliath in its name is the Goliath bird-eating spider. How big is this giant? About the size of a dinner plate or a small pizza. Not all that much different in size to our little pygmy marmoset. But this is huge for a spider. This giant spider is the largest species of tarantula, a generic name for hairy spiders, and it resides deep in the wet swamps and marshy areas of northern South America. Unlike many other kinds of tarantulas, these giant spiders are very aggressive and don't make good pets. Though their venom isn't fatally toxic to humans, they can paralyze their prey, which is birds, right? Well, these spiders rarely, if ever, eat birds. Their usual diet consists of beetles, insects, frogs, and lizards. Then what's with the description of bird eating? European explorers from the 19th century are responsible for that. When they first reported coming across this huge hairy spider, they swore up and down that it was eating a hummingbird. Sure, Whatever you say. But no matter what it may eat, this spider is definitely a Goliath. Most descriptive names are pretty accurate, and they usually refer to what an animal looks like, particularly in terms of color. Remember our black bear? Here's a brown bear. Here's a red-footed tortoise. Here's a black cobra. Here's a white-faced socky monkey. Here's a gray wolf. Here's a brown lemur. And a blue iguana. Other descriptive names tell where an animal is from, like the Bengal tiger or the Siberian tiger, or the lowland gorilla. Consider the Javan gibbon, or the Barbary lion, the Queensland grouper, and the Patagonian cavy. Descriptive names for animals can even tackle what color they are and where they're from, like the Brazilian teal duck, or the yellow-spotted Amazon river turtle, which might just win the award for the most precise name of them all. Other names describe some specific aspect of the animal's appearance, like the leaf-tailed gecko, or the maned wolf, or the sucker-mouthed catfish, or the spectacled bear, or the bald eagle. No, the bald eagle isn't bald, like, say, the turkey vulture, whose bald head is quite unlike the feathery cap of the so-called bald eagle. No, the word bald, in this regal bird's case, comes from an obsolete English word meaning white. Here's a white rhinoceros. Here's a black rhinoceros. Can you spot the color difference? No, because they're both a lovely shade of pachyderm gray. The white rhino got its name from the Dutch word vide, which means wide, and refers to this animal's very wide grazer's mouth. While the black rhinoceros is not named for its color, but where it comes from, the Black Umfolozi River. So what's in a name? Sometimes both history and geography. And more often than not, a great story. Lemurs are primates from the island of Madagascar, off the eastern coast of the African continent. They come in a variety of colors, from the red-ruffed lemur to the black and white-ruffed lemur, to the distinctive ringtails. But they all have long noses, big eyes, and long tails. The word lemur in Latin means ghost, and they were so named because the native people of Madagascar, the Malagasy, believed that they were ghostly spirits. These animals look cute during the day, but at night, during a full moon, they can resemble ghosts. The orangutan's name comes from the Malay language and means man of the forest. This great red-haired ape from Asia was respected by the humans within its habitat, not only for its size, but also for its thoughtful, contemplative, almost human expression. When we come back to Animal Atlas, we'll take a look at animal names that can cause some confusion. But first, let's see if you can guess this next animal fact. The kangaroo was named by A. The Australian Aborigines. B. Captain Cook. C. Captain Hook. Or D. The orangutan. Don't go away. The answer coming up right after this on Animal Atlas. We're back. Did you guess the right answer to our question? The kangaroo was named by... The answer is B. Captain Cook. The word kangaroo sounds like it could be an Australian Aboriginal word, but this hopping marsupial, or pouched mammal from Australia and New Guinea, actually got its name mistakenly from intrepid British explorer Captain James Cook. One dark and stormy night in 1770, Cook's ship, the Endeavour, ran aground while passing through the Great Barrier Reef. And legend has it, it is in what is now Queensland, Australia, that Captain Cook saw his first kangaroo. "What's that?" he reputedly asked the native inhabitants, the Gugu Yimrdir people. He thought he heard them reply, "Kanguru," or "Kanguru." But even now, nobody's sure just what he heard. Kangaroo is what this distinctive animal ended up being called. Kangaroo it is, right or wrong. Or Roo for short. Right, Roo? Well-meaning folks from history have named things based on descriptions alone. Scribes who were trying to figure out what looked like a camel but was spotted like a leopard settled on the Latin word camelopardalis, or camel leopard, no matter how improbable such a creature might be. Giraffa means fast walking, so this Giraffa camelopardalis is named fast-walking camel leopard, or giraffe for short. The word hippopotamus comes from the Greek word meaning water or river horse. Well, they sure got the water or river right, as this hippo will tell you. But horse? This bulky creature, the second heaviest animal on Earth, after the elephant, not only doesn't look at all like a horse, it's not even related to a horse. Who's the hippo's closest living relative? The pig. Aha! Now there's a resemblance. It's that pot belly that looks familiar. What about the word rhinoceros? This is another Greek word, rhino for nose, and ceros for horn, nose horn. Whether white, or black, or Indian, it's the nose ornament that makes the rhino immediately recognizable. Sometimes animals are named after the person who discovered them, or at least who decided to formally give them a name. Monkeys seem particularly susceptible to being linked with a human. This is a Gelgie's monkey. And let's not overlook DeBraz's monkey, or Allen's swamp monkey. But there's also Thompson's gazelle. Here's 19th century Scotsman and Africa explorer Joseph Thomson. Here's the African gazelle named for him. Both man and antelope were and are nicknamed Tommy. Explorers in 19th century North America were scanning the vast prairie grasslands when they came upon this interesting animal. Since it reminded them of a small dog, it became known as a prairie dog. In reality, though prairie dogs do live on the prairie, they're related to squirrels. See the resemblance? Sometimes names give us a picture of what the animal looks like by comparing it to something we are familiar with. The African warthog is a wild pig or hog, but those bumps are not warts. They're a sort of face padding made up of cartilaginous tissue. The squirrel monkey is so named not because it has anything in common with a squirrel, but because the squirrel monkey is about the same size as a squirrel. A spider monkey has nothing in common with our big hairy spider, but this lean monkey is so named because of its long spidery limbs. The Komodo dragon is not a dragon at all, but a very big lizard. This Goliath from Indonesia is, in fact, the world's largest lizard. But as for being a dragon in the classic sense of the word, nope. And of course, the same goes for our bearded dragon. And the frilled dragon. No matter how impressive these lizards are, they're lizards, plain and simple. The seahorse may truly look like a horse, minus its 4 legs, but this animal has less in common with the horse than our friend the so-called river horse. The seahorse is actually a small fish with plates all over its body instead of scales. It lives in seaweed beds in warm water and is a very slow swimmer, while its namesake, the horse, is swift by land. So animal names, whether common or scientific, can tell us a lot about the animal, from where an animal lives, or who discovered it, or what it was mistaken for, or what color it's supposed to be. But sometimes, what's most interesting is the story behind the name. Just ask the kangaroo, or the white rhino. Or especially, if you dare,
The Goliath bird-eating spider.
For more fun animal facts and news, visit our website at www.animalatlas.tv. See you there. Don't go away. Animal Atlas will be right back. Until next time on Animal Atlas.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, Phil.
People out there?
Yep, people.
Ring around the rosy. I'm dizzy.
Got him.
To be or not to be?
Bubbles.
And they're off. As they round the first turn, the zebra's in the lead because no one else is racing.
Darling, alone at last.
Tag, you're it.
Once again, we've traveled the globe from North and South America to Africa and Asia to Australia and every fascinating place in between. We've met all kinds of incredible animals and learned some important facts about their ability to survive and flourish on our planet. And with our help, we'll make sure they're around for a long time to come. Join us next week for another amazing adventure on Animal Atlas.